Okay, so I'm back. I apologize for that. I'm getting ready to leave. So, anyways, I'm going to continue on where I left off. And this is, we're talking about complaining and how the Lord is showing His power, got you out of different situations, maybe a bondage or a slavery to yourself or something else. And He's just showing power. And people are still complaining after they were rescued and their prayers were answered. They were still complaining because they wanted more. So with that being said, I'm going to just continue. I am on 16, and I believe I stopped here, so I'm going to stop. Now the house of Israel called its name manna. It was like a coriander seed white, and the taste of it like wafers made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Let an omer of it be kept. Let the kept throughout your generations, so that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." And Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it, and place it before the Lord to be kept throughout your generations." So again, it's generation after generation, and it's up to us to teach the next generation, especially if like everything trickles down, all the way from ancestors to ancestors to ancestors. It's important to remember that, because it's up to us there comes a time in our life where we know what's right and wrong. And then there comes a time in our life where we're like, I'm really sick and tired of being sick and tired. What can I do? Perhaps the Lord is already trying to show you what you should be doing, and you're ignoring it. Now would be the time to start listening, because there's blessings in that, to where he'll give you a life of like you can't even imagine. The sky would be the limit, and if that's what you want, which that's what He wants, then He wants you to have unconditional love, so that you can move forward in your life and not be stuck like your ancestors and all of the descendants, so learn it and change your way of thinking to be of God, be an imitator of God. And that's what I'm talking about here, and on Moses' story leading up to the 10 Commandments, why they were made for us to sin and go to Him, and then how we can apply that in our life today. So, and Moses said to Aaron, I just read that. As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron placed it before the testimony to be kept. The people of Israel ate the manna 40 years till they came to a habitable land. They ate manna till they came to the border of the land of Canaan. And omer is the 10th part of an ephah. Chapter 17. All the congregation of the people of Israel moved on from the wilderness of sin by stages, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped at Rahidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So like sin by stages, like they're learning, okay? They're learning His power, they're learning His commandments, they're starting to obey them. And so it's sin by stages, because our sin is habits, and in the way that we think. So it takes time, a lot of time. My journey has been 5 years, 4 months, and 24 days as of today. And it's been good. It's been hard. I've been in some really bad situations through that amount of time. However, it's made me a better person, and it really made me take a look at my life and who I was, compared to what I am now. It's better. It's a lot better. And faith plays a really big part in that. For me, faith, it was very, very easy, because, how can you deny God when He parted the Red Sea and brought the Israelites out of slavery? You can't, if you think that you can, then there's something wrong with your thinking. So, it's crazy. All right, so therefore the people quarreled with Moses and said, they're still complaining, "Give us water to drink." And Moses said to them, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you test the Lord?" And I could relate to that, because God showed up and shows up so much in my life. And I continue to do wrong. I mean, I'm human. I am human. I'm not making excuses, but it's like, why are you testing the Lord? You know, the Lord is to test us. And the things that we go through, that's just a test on how we're going to react. Okay, so, but the people thirsted there for water, and the people grumbled against Moses and said, why did you bring us up out of Egypt? Are you kidding me? To kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst? So Moses cried to the Lord, what shall I do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me. Like, they're ready to kill Moses, you know, because now they're complaining because they were brought out of the Egyptians. It's just silly. You know, we really need to just stop complaining. You know what I mean? We need to be grateful. Thank you, Lord, for what you do to us, for us, and with us. And the Lord said to Moses, pass on before the people, taking with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock of Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, the water shall come out of it, and the people will drink. And Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. Again, you know, like answering their prayers. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the quarreling of the people of Israel, and because they tested the Lord by saying, is the Lord among us or not? You know, sometimes we don't think that he's there. And sometimes we're like, you know, why is all this stuff happening to me? You know, I'm praying, you know, I'm doing right, you know, like, you know, there's so many questions that we have in our mind when it comes to God. And with that, he's showing us his love, you know, and we are his children. And he disciplines us for our actions, especially if we have a calling, you know, especially when he gives us gifts. And as you go through your journey of transformation, he shows you what gifts that you have. And, you know, I remember even complaining about that because there's one particular gift that I'm being, like, I guess, selfish with because I don't particularly care for it, you know, and I guess I just don't know how to use it correctly, and I'm learning how to use it correctly, you know, but just for an example of what was saying here, you know, are you really among me? What's going on? And why did you do that? You know, so he is among us all of the time. His spirit is among us. He lives within us if you allow him to. So Moses said to Joshua, choose for us men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses told him and fought with Amalek, while Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And remember their ages. They're 83 and 80, no, sorry, 86 or 83. Anyway, they're in their 80s. And so, I mean, in their 80s doing this. But Moses' hand grew weary. So they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it, while Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side and the other on the other. So his hands were steady until going down of the sun. And Joshua overwhelmed Amalek and his people with the sword. Then the Lord said to Moses, write this a memorial in a book and recite it in the ears of Joshua, that I will utterly blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. So Moses built an altar and called the name of it, the Lord is my banner, saying, a hand upon you, the thorn of the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Jethro the priest of, this is 18, Jethro the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Now Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, had taken Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her home, along with their two sons. The name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been a sojourner in the foreign land. And the name of the other, Eliezer, for he said, the God of my father was help and delivered me from the sword of Phorah. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of God, which is Mount Sinai. And when he sent word to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. Moses went out to meet his father-in-law and bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare and went into the tent. Then Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Phorah and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and the hardship that had come upon them in the way, and how the Lord had delivered them. So Moses is like being completely grateful and not understanding why we're complaining or why we're not listening. And Jethro rejoiced for all of the good that the Lord had done for Israel, and that he delivered them out of the hand of the Egyptians. Jethro said, Blessed to the Lord who has delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, out of the hand of Phorah, and he delivered the people from under the hand of all Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, because in this affair they dealt ignorantly with the people. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to God, and Aaron came with all of the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before God. The next day Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood around Moses from morning till evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw all that they were doing for the people, he said, What is this that you are doing for the people? Why do you sit alone, and all the people stand around you from morning till evening? And Moses said to his father-in-law, Because the people come to me to inquire of God. So because he's got that connection. He is a man of God. He is an imitator of God. He's a teacher of God. He carries God with him. When they have a dispute, they come to me, and I decide between one person and another, and I make them known the statutes of God and his laws. Moses' father-in-law said to him, What you are doing is not good. You and the people with you will certainly wear yourselves out, for the thing is too heavy for you. You are not able to do it alone. Our troubles are bigger than us, but they're not bigger than God. So give them. He gave them to you. Give them back. Make better choices. Listen to what he's telling you. I know he's telling you something. Now obey my voice, I will give you advice, and God will be with you. You shall represent the people before God and bring their cases to God, and you shall warn them about the statutes and laws, and make them know the way in which they must walk and what they must do. Moreover, look for able men from all of the people, men who fear God, who are trustworthy and hate a bribe, and place such men over the people as chiefs of thousands and hundreds of fifties and of tens. That's coming up in the 10 Commandments. Let them judge for the people at all times. Every great matter they shall bring to you, but any small matter they shall decide themselves. So it will be easier for you that they will bear burden with you. It's tiring. It's tiring to carry all that stuff. If you do this, God will direct you. You will be able to endure, and all of this people also will go to their place of peace. Father, please guide and direct my thoughts. Let them be of you. Let me obey and show me your commandments, your statutes, your laws. I'm willing to listen, Father. And that's what we have to say to him. And that the place of peace is no worries, no burdens. All of that stuff is lifted off of your shoulders. So Moses listened to the people of his father-in-law and did all that he said. Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, chiefs of thousands and hundreds of fifties and of tens. And they judged the people at all times. Any hard case they brought to Moses, but any small matter they decided themselves. Then Moses let his father-in-law depart, and he went away to his own country. Chapter 19. On the 3rd new moon, after the people of Israel had gone out of the land of Egypt, on the day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. Sinai is the mountain of God. They set out from Rephidim and came into the wilderness of Sinai, and they encamped in the wilderness. There Israel encamped before the mountain, while Moses went up to God. The Lord called to him out of the mountain, saying, Thus you shall say to the house of Jacob and tell the people of Israel, you yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself, right? He saved them. He took them out of their problem. Showed them the power, blessed them, gave them favor, answered their prayers, even when they were complaining, you know. He showed them all of the curses that he would do if you don't listen. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasure possession among all people, for all of the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and of the holy nation. These are the words that you shall speak to the people of Israel. So Moses came and called the elders of the people and sat down before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him. All of the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken we will do. And Moses reported the words of the people to the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I am coming to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak to you, and may also believe you forever. When Moses told the words of the people to the Lord said to Moses, Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments, and be ready for the third day, for on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all of the people. It's in that cloud, right? And you shall set limits for the people all around, saying, Take care not to go up into the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Rather, beast or man, he shall not live. When the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and consecrated the people, which that means like holy, like I can't give you the exact definition, but it means holy. Like it's talking about holy stuff, because you're holy. And they washed their garments. And he said to the people, Be ready on the third day. Do not go near a woman. On the morning of the third day, there will be thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast, so that all of the people in the camp trembled. Then, because now, they already saw God's power. So they already confessed their sin. And said, not only did I sin against God, but I sinned against Moses because he's a leader. Then Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they took their stand at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke because the Lord had descended on it in fire. The smoke of it went up like the smoke of kindling, and the whole mountain trembled greatly. And as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him in thunder. The Lord came down on Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. This is amazing. This is great. And the Lord said to Moses, Go down and warn the people, lest they break through to the Lord to look at many of them perish. Also, let the priests who come near to the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. And Moses said to the Lord, The people cannot come to Mount Sinai, for you yourself warned us, saying, Set limits around the mountain and consecrate it. So they had to step back from the mountain. And the Lord said to him, Go down and come up, bringing Aaron with you, but do not let the priest and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Okay, so now we're going to go into chapter 20, but I'm going to end this video and start it from the 10 Commandments, because I want the 10 Commandments to be the start of another video. So with that being said, I don't want to start it and then get a call. It will be soon. So think about what I said. Stop complaining. If you need prayer, please leave me a message and I will pray. A daily prayer would be fantastic, if you're really wanting change. And it's thankful prayer. You know, it's, Father, please guide and direct my thoughts to be of you. Father, I thank you for what you do to me and for me and definitely with me. You know, Father, please show me my character defects so that I may change them. You know, show me what's going on with me. I don't want to be angry anymore. I don't want to be addicted to sex. I don't want to be addicted to gambling, food. I don't want to be addicted to anything but you. So with that being said, I love you guys with all of my heart and with all of my soul. And just like I love the Lord. And what God wants from us is he wants unconditional love. You know, we show unconditional love to him because he shows unconditional love to us. And within the 10 Commandments, with what I've been teaching before, yesterday and today, it all makes sense. You know, it all makes sense. So today, say, you know, I am worth it. I'm not going to complain anymore. I am going to love God with all of my heart and with all of my soul. And I'm going to commit my life to him. So, again, if you need prayer, any kind of guidance, I'm more than happy to help. So please just leave a comment in the comments. Thank you kindly. Have a wonderful day.